are finally out of Fragranze 2023. No, it was actually enjoyable show.
It was very
It
enjoyable.
was very good. We were tired in the first day as usual, but I think that everybody, like exhibitors and us, we had a great show. It was convenient. The setting was very elegant, and so we actually smelled everything. I think this time.
Yeah, this time. This time we could get a hold of it.
Yes.
It was possible.
I think so.
I would think that we can start like some critique
Yeah, we will start from the best.
from the best.
Yeah. So what's the most memorable?
Brands?
Perfumes.
Okay. I think most memorable doesn't necessarily mean the best perfumes, but the ones that stand out.
Anything.
There was, for me, well, I'm starting. There was, I'm looking at this box that says "Born to Stand Out,"
Yeah.
and standing out seems to have been the thought behind many brands. And there was actually one place in the show where all the brands were competing against each other with crazy names and crazy concepts and ideas. In the middle of it was this brand, Born to Stand Out.
Yeah, Sugar Addict,
Everything
Dirty
was,
Heaven, and Sin and Pleasure.
yes, actually those were my favorites. And everything was red, and the bottles were white. And it was calling the attention of a lot of people. It took me some while to arrive to the actual bottles. But around this brand was also a brand called Double Dragon, very provocative. There was a brand,
Dramatic.
dramatic. What's the
dramatic.
Also with very strange names. When I looked around, Hunk was close by as well. So everyone was thinking, how can we call people with crazy names and catch them? And there was actually a bunch of good fragrances around.
I think
in this
they
brand.
go. I mean, mostly. I mean, those particular brands
Yes.
decided to go with the first with the packaging
Yeah.
because the compositions were like wearable, not really over complicated or complex.
Yeah.
So you can wear and enjoy the cool packaging. I think
It's fun. I
It's
think
fun,
the word
yeah.
is fun. They're fun.
and many perfumes actually went that way.
Yes.
Fun to wear, fun to look at.
Mhm.
I would say. So I would add to the list of these brands also ephemeral dyadic. So they decided also go with some crazy naming.
What
But
again the name of it?
ephemeral dyadic. It's Turkish brand, so they're kind of cool. I also took some video with the self-presentation, so you will see it a little bit more. The fragrances are kind of the same. I mean, same, like nice, easy to wear, just just to
Okay.
yeah.
Born to Stand Out. So these three perfumes that I mentioned and that you liked are the new ones. So we have announced a bunch of them before. They are from 2002.
There's a big bunch of them.
Yeah,
Right.
but the
That's a
new,
lot of
the
them.
very new is just three:
Yes.
Sugar Addict, Dirty Heaven,
Yes.
and Sin and Pleasure, and they said that they are targeting American market.
Are they
So-
limited?
They are not limited. I think they are primarily made for that market.
Okay.
That is a very sad thing for me. But okay, it's a little bit of baccarat, actually,
Yes.
unavoidable.
And cherry.
yeah.
Cherry is also involved.
There's one
But
with
I
cherry.
actually somehow I smelled cherry in all three of them at some point, and a little bit of saffron,
Uh-huh.
and it
Tonka
makes
bean.
tonka bean.
With a lot of
So-
musks
So,
playing around.
so they are sweet, bright, and already smelled not once.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually not like probably cherry is more of the like trend, but I found like peach fragrance like lost on the road because it was way before, and it's new Optica Brazil. It's kind of nice.
That's
It's
nice.
not that nice, A bit.
It's a passion fruit.
It's passion fruit.
Passion fruit, but a little bit,
Maracuja.
yeah, maracuja,
But
but a little, and
There's peach
now
too. I
smell
talked with them, and there's peach
yeah.
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
think that-
yeah, it's of course maracuja was created of different
Yeah.
notes of blackcurrant.
Nice,
Yeah,
by the way.
citruses.
And I thought that was a very interesting fragrance because I thought passion fruit and very realistic one. But when they started breaking down the notes, oh yes, it was like revelation. Yes, and the cassis as well.
Mhm.
When they told me, yes, I can see it now. But it was interesting because behind such a simple, apparently simple fragrance,
Yeah.
there's kind of a complexity. I liked it. Yeah.
I wore it on myself, and it was of course the maracuja note, that fizzy
Mhm.
stuff. It's disappeared, not disappeared. It's just come down a bit,
Mhm.
and it was a very smooth base, refreshing, and still yummy. So it's
Mhm.
suitable for summer, or just
Yeah.
vacation.
Again, I think it's fun, and I think the general word is fun.
Yes, I
Yeah.
Playfulness.
think, yes.
I would say
That's
there
Right,
are many
like
such
cool, stay
fragrances.
cool, something like that.
For example, so jasmine. So I talked a lot about strawberry jasmine before. Now I smelled peach jasmine in Maison Rivachi line.
Mhm.
It's not very like new. I think it's from 2 years maybe ago, but it's nice. It's called jasmine something. So it's usually some
Yeah.
two things in the name, but for very easygoing, very wearable fragrance.
And about jasmine, I actually smell really nice one, like night blooming jasmine from Nativa.
Mhm.
It's the latest from the
Also like it.
collection. Unfortunately, like kind of a long name,
Mhm.
but they posted it like night bloom jasmine.
And the story is very
But it's
nice
really
behind
nice.
this brand.
Yeah.
So it's two people who travel Caribbean islands and smell like people who are in love with Caribbean islands. So it's different islands, different flowers, and they chose two for. I mean, there is some not problems, but reformulation because IFRA requirements and European requirements, the new ones. So it's in a way, but two fragrances were brought, and they were like in how to say, in agreement with the new regulation, and it was Bahamas, and so it was night blooming jasmine for.
Yeah.
I forgot the islands, but I remember the smell.
Ooh.
I would say like grenadine, something like with 2 or 3 words before, and then grenadine, and then like in cursive, like night blooming jasmine, which is
They're very beautiful,
We're
exotic
talking about-
fragrances, and that is
Mm.
easy to wear.
As far as I know, they had to reformulate some of their fragrances, or even
They will.
Everyone
Yes.
has.
Yeah, except this
well.
too, that they
There's
actually
no-
bring to the show.
It's a nightmare.
Дети, может быть, ты пересядешь в тот угол немножко? So I didn't smell really dark fragrances. I mean, it was a few,
Yes.
but the majority was very light with a lot of mint. So it's kind of like mint is a new citrus, as Victoria said, and so it wasn't. So citruses were not that popular. I mean, as citruses, only of course in combination with something. Very nice tobacco, and one of them is, I will tell you, it was here.
Yes, I can smell tobacco here.
Here,
it's
uh-huh.
because of me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Avere La Barba, a very cute brand. They have only shampoo and oil for a beard, and they added a perfume. They all smell different. And then perfume, of course, is the most complex. It's vanilla, tobacco. Now I'm smelling it from this one.
Okay.
So it's quite unisex, but
It's close to tobacco vanilla.
Yes,
But-
it's
but-
like
but I wouldn't say
Yeah.
so. I think it's. I think. I
saw-
mean, it's of course it's tobacco vanilla because tobacco was the inspiration.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it. It's long lasting. It's pleasurable. So this one is one that I remember.
And I actually smell many gourmand fragrances, all kind of,
All
from
kinds.
fruity to pastry to something, I don't know, ice cream, something fruity you can eat.
Oh, there was this pistachio from Obvious.
Yes,
I think we have
it.
different opinions.
I also smell like condensed milk, Omni perfumes. Perla.
Names.
Yes, Perla. The latest from them, Perla.
Oh,
And
what
it's
a
just-
presentation.
Yeah, they gave me like this with the pearls. I
Mm.
hope
With,
they're real ones.
with milk.
But it's condensed milk. I know that, and I thought, how nice actually, health diet wise, better smell this condensed milk than eat it. So you can just, like substitute, still.
Especially
I-
if you're lactose
Have
If
intolerant.
I'm if I'm
milk.
eating the real one, I don't need a perfume. I have the real one. But I'm joking. I'm
But
joking.
you have
Obvious.
yes.
You mentioned
Anyway.
obvious.
Yes, obvious.
Pistachio, because
Yes.
it's so popular now.
Uh-huh.
It's getting like it's replacing cherry, maybe not. But so if you really like to smell of I don't know how they smell actually. It's more taste. It's not the smell.
Mm.
So this pistachio that Obvious released is a very milky, like
Yes,
lactonic,
yes.
not milky, lactonic and green. But first you imagine some kind of branch or leaf, and then it goes to that milky, nutty way, and it's beautiful. I mean, if you really want that fruit, then
I have a
you might
different
like it.
perception.
But it's not roasted for me.
Because
It's a fresh one.
I'm very clumsy, and
Okay.
spilling ice cream all over myself
Uh-huh.
is something that happens to me very frequently. And I have spilled pistachio ice cream over myself, and the
So
smell.
you can just
Yeah, I was just I
spill
smelled
it again.
I smelled that fragrance, and I was looking. Did I spill ice cream all over myself again?
Actually, it reminded me of ice cream very much.
Yes, for me it was a little bit too realistic on the
Yeah,
ice
yeah.
cream side, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't actually see it as a perfume.
Mhm.
For me, in the best of ways, I see it as a disaster.
Kids will love it.
Kids will love
Yeah.
it. Might even drink it.
Yeah,
That we don't recommend.
Yes, no, don't do that.
I think gourmand fragrances shouldn't be too realistic.
Yeah,
To be
because
fragrances,
it
actually.
stops being from being a perfume, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Soradora released exactly the most realistic apple tart there is.
Mhm.
French,
I would
this
add,
French pies with cut
Mhm.
apples. I think it's called tadata or something like that.
Okay.
And it smells exactly like, I don't know who wants to.
Just smear it.
but
It's yummy, it's addictive.
And the same acre with the
Acre.
bake. I mean, bake.
Yeah, it's
Same
very
thing.
realistic lemon tart.
They also had a new one called Rice, which was
Mhm.
Pina Colada.
Mhm.
So here we go again.
Yes.
But that wasn't actually too realistic. That was not exactly Pina Colada. It was transformed in a way.
So do you like realistic yumminess?
Personally, no.
Not so much.
No. I think it was a cool thing before when you
It's
just
just fun.
and the beauty was in recognizing.
Yes.
Now we kind of we know how to smell like pina colada,
Yeah.
champagne, etc.
Yeah.
It's good if they use that note for some arrangement
Exactly.
things.
Especially in the start, and after that it should become a fragrance.
Yes. I mean, if it's realistic in the first moment, it's just fun. But it should move into another territory.
Yeah.
That's
Just
true.
there are sometimes the nice smells that you like to smell, but you don't want to smell these.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have a bottle I actually have such things that I just
Yes.
smell for the mood.
It's like that brand Demeter. I think Demeter.
Yeah.
They have
Demeter.
so many perfumes that are realistic.
Demeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just fun. I think that's fun.
And they started it first, and
Yes.
now
Yeah.
it's kind of
They were
I don't
among
know,
the
this
first
is
ones to do it, maybe. They were among the first ones to do it,
Yes.
actually.
yes,
Okay.
and it was specifically for fun to recognize, like to
Yeah.
compare your memory to the scent. I really like this brand. I don't know about
I
you
love
guys.
it. I love that brand.
Bien-Aimé.
Bien-Aimé.
Bien-Aimé. So it's kind of Sophie wrote about it, and they have a couple of new fragrances. The very new is Fleur de Thé
Mm-hmm.
and La Vie en Fleur.
Yeah.
And it's a little, how to say, vintage chic.
Yes, yeah.
It's powdery. Maybe La Vie en Fleur a bit animalic in its meat. And Fleur de Thé is just really chic, elegant
Yes, so
fragrance,
Mhm.
powder, little lipstick and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So, and the bottles are very different.
Yeah, I think they're doing a fantastic work of reviving the brand, not running away from the original codes, but like reworking. It's precious. I think it's very precious.
And they also have a cosmetic line. I think they just launched it, and it's very suitable for
Yeah.
this scent because with this kind of scent, you think about grooming yourself,
Mhm.
beautification, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just want to really put it on your skin.
You know, it's a very coherent idea because
Yes.
they have caps like shells, yeah,
Mhm.
and it's something like precious.
Yeah.
To me, most of their fragrances are aldehydic, so they have aldehydes and they're like a little bit vintage,
Mhm.
you know,
Soapy sometimes.
and it's rare
Mhm.
nowadays because they're not commercial. at
Yes,
all.
they're not. Yeah. Actually, if you consider the whole show, there was another brand. There was one brand called Unscat. They had 3 fragrances here, and they are going to launch another 3 next year. Uh, each fragrance points to a decade: 30s, 50s, and 80s.
Mhm.
These 3 ones that they were presenting here, and they all try to represent a specific time in the past, so they are vintage and retro, not in the way that Bianime is doing, but in a more modernized way. I think they're very interesting. Uh, the 30s one reminds me of the golden age of Caron, for example, but the 50s one reminded me of the 80s, and the 80s reminded me of the 70s. So I'm
Okay.
because the 50s one reminded me of Ungaro Diva, which I love,
Oh yeah.
and the 80s reminded me of Opium. So I was,
And was me,
but all in all, it was. I liked the brand. I liked the perfumes were well made. Yeah, I think it's
my,
good.
my kids say that the 90s and the 60s and the 50s it's
All the same.
all the same.
It's like ages,
And
like
it's
a
our
dinosaurs
perception of perfumes that
roaming at the time.
like they were at that time. So maybe they also wanted to include the taste of time. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know about 30s, but 50s and 80s I mean at least the 80s we can remember. I want to mention one absolutely wonderful brand,
Estoros.
Estoras from Hungary, and they have 3 perfumes with one new one. So the third is the newest one, and it's about his family, the owner of the brand. So maybe you tell about it if you want.
Yeah, I spoke to the guy.
A lot of information.
He is really nice, but I don't remember the whole information. But the story is that he discovered an old case or suitcase, if I'm not mistaken, and he wanted to recreate the spirit of traveling, but not traveling nowadays, but in the past. So this bag, I should say, was owned by his grandfather, who traveled from Europe to, I think, Middle East to Egypt, and in his brand he tries to recreate this kind of elegancy of European people traveling to distant world, I would say.
There was the second person, his best friend, was the prototype of the
English.
novel English Patient,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
and so everything inside history, family history, these discoveries were the first cars that were trying out the roads.
Mhm.
They even added the note of gasoline in the first one.
And the second thing that it was the most beautiful standard
Yes,
of all the
Yeah, yeah.
expo.
yes, I agree. And the newest one, it's called, let me see, it's Shadows of Giza, I believe, and it smells like. So the story behind, after a long day travel in the heat, in the shade of pyramid, they finally stopped and so rested, and the smell of rest, of moss, uh, wet, I don't know, sand, and it's incredible. And this greenness, wet greenness, they put inside iris in that composition, and iris calm everything down, and so I have an impression of a wet green moss, and I like that note. So I can just read from in the fragrance what they meant. It's really restful fragrance, very nice.
Do you remember the
And
first smell?
dark. The first smell is called Antal.
This isn't the name of his grandfather.
Yes, and it's like dandy. It could be unisex because there is a quite sweet part in it, but it's recreated. It was actually the perfume that they found in that bag. So they build the fragrance on it. Of course, it doesn't smell old, but it smells classic, elegant. So with fougere, woody, sweet floral notes. So it actually should be smelled. It's very hard to describe. It's just the feeling of elegance. Yes.
Let's go back a little bit. I mean, step aside from elegance, I would
Speak about Hank.
speak about Hank, the boxer. This the latest release. Actually, I would say it's just, for me, it smells kind of, quite simple. It's just tears, sweat, and leather. But
Mostly
it's
leather.
Mostly leather. But I think it's like voodoo, but it's like
It's a boxer.
feeling. It's boxer. I think it's very powerful fragrance.
But it's
and
not too much, I think.
not too
No,
much.
yeah, because I was afraid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a gentleman
Yeah,
putting
yeah,
on the gloves and
yeah.
trying to play a
Yeah.
boxer a little
It's
bit.
still
So
wearable.
yeah, like everyone could be a boxer. I
Yes,
know. You
yeah.
don't need like really the tears, the sweat already there,
Yeah.
so you don't need to.
Yeah.
Not
Wait,
many
you know.
leathers, by the way, this time.
I saw a bunch of, not like crazy ones, but I saw leather sneaking in.
Yeah,
I like one. I don't know what's going on with Darcy. We still will explore. They have a bunch of new fragrances, and some I really liked. One of them is maybe you say it better since it's French. It's a
oui.
yeah. So say
Say
yes, right?
You.
Yes. And it's leather that is, I don't know, like something wearable and so not raw, woody, creamy leather that is really enjoyable. So, and perfectly unisex. And the idea behind it also nice. So it's a scent between two lovers that they share because they can't disclose it and because they are. So the lady is married and he's suffering.
For me,
To
the
meet her.
most romantic story of last year, that the founder of Dorsey Maison, he was a dandy, happy guy before he met in London Lady Margaret that was already married with the Duke, and he fell crazily in love with this woman, and all his life he stayed loving her, but all the time they couldn't be together, and all the time it was the connection between them with the letters, and not to burn out. They left only their initials, like a signature, and time to time, when they were together, they invented this special language. So they had the one perfume for two to keep this connection when they are beside. And the brand, they kept this idea to leave the initials under every name, to keep this mystery of love between, and
It's like
I
a
think
secret language.
and it was the first unisex perfume.
Yeah. So each of the fragrances you can wear together, so they're perfectly unisex. Maybe roses lean a little bit more feminine and leather more masculine, so they're perfectly wearable for everyone. And so, yes, by the way, I would like to introduce our Alona, our sommelier, and the wine we drink this time is absolutely special. So she will share more knowledge later in our arts. So we already have ideas about that. By the way, we don't have any like spirits. Spirits, alcohol this time in fragrances.
No,
A little bit of
No.
absinthe.
Absent,
but it's not in the newest.
not realistic.
No. I
Yeah.
can't remember anything like that. No.
You know what? And I actually I think that if before we like fragrances dedicated to nature, like wild nature, all
Yeah,
the
it was a
herbs,
bunch.
and yeah, but
I saw
now
some.
it's kind of so-so, not a few. And I really like this Joan Studios Scottish brand, and the latest collection, Scottish Odyssey. It's about nature, beautiful, gorgeous nature, and I never smelled so many different herbs.
Mm.
Such like a floral bouquet. It was so nice, durable, and really pleasant. So you like walking in the field with the wild flowers, like smelling like rain on the moss in the forest. I really enjoyed the collection, and it's kind of colorful. So I think it's just something to look at.
I saw something very in the wilderness as well with Extra Virgo, the new one. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember, but it's the new from Extra Virgo, and the perfumer is still Michele Marin.
I think it's like Oracle.
Yes, something like that.
It's Oracle.
Oracle. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
now I remember too,
Yeah.
and it's
And
based
it's
on
very-
incense and oranges.
Yes.
With, of course, with a
But
bunch of
there's a lot of
additional
herbs.
Yes,
And,
it's
yeah.
very herbal.
Yeah.
rosemary and thyme and
Mhm.
sage.
Yes.
A little bit.
You know, it's like whatever, like medicine, even medicine,
Medicinal.
like
Yes.
herbs, like you put like together because it's like oracle, so you have to use some potion,
Yeah.
for the gods.
Mhm.
And the cypress resin was also among the main ingredients. Herbs, viridium, right?
Yes.
Viridarium, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Viridarium.
Yes,
Mhm.
Viridarium. By Maria Candida Gentili. So it's a perfume based on fresco, and I wouldn't say now the name of that, but so it's a beautiful
It's a very
fresco with a lot of herbs painted. So she collected the majority of them and put in the fragrance. So she found and identified them, and then so this is very beautiful, refreshing green fragrance.
It's very calming, I would say.
Yes.
Like the whole exhibition of Pitti this year.
Many
Yes.
fragrances that way.
I found one that was the opposite,
Which one?
and I was looking for it because I saw it on Fragrantica, and something called my attention. It's Linari. It's not the new, but it's recent. Fuoco Infernale means fire from hell. And I was, and it has carnation, and carnation is not something that we see very
I
often.
smell lots of carnation
Did
this
you?
time.
I didn't.
Yes.
I did only smell this one.
No, at least like 3 or 4
Really?
fragrances.
Okay.
Like the
I love
main one.
carnation. It's good that
Yes.
it's coming.
Here they added carnation to cloves to even extend it further, and I think it was interesting the way that it's there,
Mhm.
and everything I expected was there. But when you see the concept of all the woods and smoky notes and carnation and clove and spices, you think that it can be overwhelming. But they actually achieved some kind of balance that makes it more intriguing than overwhelming. I was super drawn to this one. I was tempted to steal the bottle.
When nobody's
Even-
watching, is
also,
usually
also because of the bottle, it's really beautiful.
That's true. I would also want to like for some new collection from Regalian, Turkish brand. This time he presented 3 fragrances with the ritual of Ottoman bath ritual. I mean, like how to cleanse yourself like properly, starting with the cleanest soap that you can like really imagine. The first fragrance.
So
It's
I'll
just
give
like
you the clean fragrance.
clean fragrance.
I saw
Called
some.
Hammam.
Yes, hammam. That would be
I
hammam.
really like the rose.
It was like after like putting like
I don't know
all
after,
those
before,
soap
in the middle,
bubbles
but
and
it's,
everything.
rose water with
Yeah,
rose
yes, you
petals.
go to rose water, and it's really nice with the like floral scent and a little bit of citrusy. So now and then, completing with this also cleansing, you go to having like socializing and having tea.
Hmm.
So the last fragrance, it was like I think damn about tea.
Regalia.
Yeah.
I have to add a few words about the feeling of being clean.
yes.
So I had a chance to speak to Sonia Constant. Yeah, and she made a wonderful fragrance called Musk K from her brand Ella K. It's so clean and at the same time it's a little bit animalic. It smells like a kitten, but not kitten pee, but like
Just
how would I
cute.
say it? Cute kitten.
Cute and
Yeah.
Without
yes.
screechiness.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
clean.
and very very clean, just like the bottle. It smells like the bottle actually looks.
Oh, you
So
know what
touch
about like
with satin.
about
Yeah,
like
yeah.
white? Remember that Olivier Duwana made this
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful fragrance that you can
A new
just smell
fragrance
it
that
and
is
you know,
called
yes,
Year
that's
Blanche
the color of
Yeah.
white.
Mm-hmm.
and so it's he quoted Bible, the most mysterious book of Revelation, and so this is that white stone and the light and the hope. Actually, first time I smelled something that is really smell like a light in perfumery.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
it's hard to tell like how you smell light. So this is that impression that I got instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And ingredients are quite dark actually. That's birch and leather and different kinds of incense, but in herbs, a lot of herbs. So this is not musk, this is not floral. It's aromatic herbal fragrance that smells like light. Yeah. Quite clean
I
and
think
calming.
in Olivier Durbano fragrances you can always. I think I always see some luminous thing coming, except for Tourmaline Noir, which is very 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 smoking, very dark. It's my favorite. But I always see light coming from his fragrances. I think.
From himself.
Yeah, from
Yes,
himself.
yes,
Yes.
yes, I think.
Yes, he knows what he does.
To make this connaissance the last day, and for me it was just discovery of these mineral fragrances from him, and just next to him it was Madeleine,
Mhm.
something.
Madeleine.
Yes, they are playing with a different words like Madeleine de Proust,
Mhm.
and they are also very very mineral. You didn't try it?
That was
No.
exactly the idea behind the name.
And they didn't know each other, absolutely.
So
No, they
honestly, I
connected
didn't
somehow.
smell this time the collection. Actually, I see this passion fruit here. Sorry, we already
Yes,
mentioned
yes.
Optico Brazil, that very realistic passion
Yes.
fruit miracle.
That's
Yeah.
what
I would add, this new mutis.
I have to smell.
Yeah, it's green. I mean, by color, it's yellow green by color, and it's also like
What is the brand?
fruity and tropical. I think it's very bright and all its connection kind of
The collection
mutis.
is all a little exotic and
Yes,
elegant at the
exotic.
same time. It's
It's
and intriguing.
the same, yeah. So it calls Maracaibo. I think it's worth trying. So it's new, and just remember it's a green yellow color.
Mhm.
Also fruity, exotic.
Going back to the gourmand territory, I found some really nice gourmand fragrances, fruity gourmand. For example, unfortunately, I don't have a bottle here. The Spirit of Dubai, this luxurious Oriental brand, it actually presented the fragrance called, let me see, Ajyal, and it smells like mango.
Oh,
But
wow.
not real mango, just like a mango with a sea breeze. So it's very light, it's beautiful, it is sunny, and again, it's fruity. Also, I got a chance to try the fragrances by Solot Paskanyan. He is an Armenian perfumer. his way was actually very long. He started from creating his own essential oils, and based in Armenia, it's really interesting task because they have really interesting ingredients, especially herbs. And here he presented his new collection, and all the fragrances are called like vetiver something, rose something. So in the center of every fragrance there is an ingredient, but there is only one fragrance called soir vert, and there is no ingredient. And it smells crazy. It smells like rhubarb. It smells like marijuana. A little bit of banana.
Yes, because it's
Sweet and
fruity.
sour.
There's
Yeah,
something
Very fruity.
sweet, fruity with the green.
Banana. What else? And the fruitiness is so complex. It is
Citrusy.
changing. It is really, you know, it is really hard to find, a fresh green fruity fragrance with a complex
Realistic,
nature.
but not. But since there are many fruits involved, it doesn't smell like
Yeah.
boring street.
It's not fruit salad.
I think that we have to.
Wait, just 1 second, because going in this direction, like regional and nature, it's
Oh,
or
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
I would like to
Oh,
present this
beautiful new
beautiful
fragrance.
fragrances about the nature and identity of Kazakhstan, and I think they did a great job, and all the fragrance worth trying. And you will
Especially
know
the
more.
newest one.
The newest
It's
one,
called
number
Seven?
Yes.
Osmanthus, apricot, and amber base.
And
with
I would
some
recommend
good,
actually 4 fragrances were made by Sarah McCartney, so known for us as perfumer for 14
4160 Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, and
Yeah.
she's great with gourmand fragrances. And she made like really, really nice first, really interesting interpretation of like oil.
Oil.
As
Like
luxurious,
oil?
yes, luxurious, very nice, amazing fragrance. And I would also actually, from this brand or of Kazakhstan, Land of Tulips. I have my weakness for this flower because it's really hard to interpret. It's not that fragrant, but when you smell it, it's the world actually. Like nature,
Is it
and
floral?
they did it like really like tulips.
I haven't
They
been through it.
feel of tulips. Really,
It's
like
very
the
light.
nicest.
It's very light, a little bit soapy.
Yes.
So it's flower then.
Yes.
Interpretation. Ooh, nice.
Does a tulip smell like this? I think I've never smelled tulip.
No
Or,
way.
or at least,
Saffron and
or at
green,
least the
green.
tulips. Well, in Portugal, it's hard to grow tulips, so we see it at the florist, and they don't have.
You should go to Kazakhstan.
Smell.
See, you have reason.
It's very soapy.
They have like fields of tulips
Yeah, and
Wild
it's really
tulips.
beautiful.
And apples.
and apples.
And apples.
By the way, they have a fragrance dedicated to an accord of apple,
Yes.
like gourmand apple.
But
and-
I don't remember the name of the fragrance. But anyway, if you
Oh,
go
let
to
me see.
I don't know. It's Wind of the Great Steppe.
I
My
think
God, Legend of
the
Tamiris.
heart of Almaty.
The heart.
It is called
Yes,
the heart of Almaty because Almaty is like the place where all the apples in the world originate from. The first apple tree was born in Almaty. So
Okay, so we wish you guys actually to visit our website for the news. So we will review all that we smelled, all interesting stuff. So, and we'll now enjoy our wine and cheese.
bye.
Bye.